right. Well, this is Ben and Tommy from our office here in Chatham, and first time we've ever done anything like this, and so hope you will put up with our amateurish way of doing this. But anyway, this is uncharted water we've been going through, and I think it's very important for you to know that that we look at this very seriously, that we respect the fact that we have a responsibility to all of you, and we want First Piedmont to come through this as best it possible to do. You know, after all, we're lucky. We're in a business that requires kind of continuation, and there's always going to be waste. And while it might not be as much, there's always going to be waste, and so there's going to be work to do. And so we want you to know that that we have plans on how we're going to deal with this as it goes forward. So Tommy, what are your thoughts about it?
Okay, and well, good afternoon. And what I'd like to run through with everybody is a contingency plan that we put together. We kind of looked at where we feel the next step is on this, and we want to try to get out ahead of it and be prepared as we go forward. And so yesterday we had with all of our operations people and HR a planning meeting to discuss a contingency in the event of a workforce slowdown with our drivers. That's the piece we think could possibly come next, and we want to share with you what we're thinking about, and then get any feedback that you may have as far as how we think is best to handle this. And again, trying to get out ahead of it now. The first step we discussed was just so that you know how we will reduce hours. We're not looking at eliminating any positions. We're looking at reducing our hours of work as needed in an equal and equitable manner. So if we're working 52, 55 hours, it may be as things slow down, we all slow down a little bit. And then when we get to a point, the second step in that, if the workload starts approaching a level of approximately, say, 45 hours, nothing etched in stone about that, but at some point, then we'll begin to move our team members to other job assignments. This is something we did. We've got some familiarity with this on a different level, but in 2008 and 9, when we had the work slowdown as a result of the banking crisis, I believe it was,
yeah,
stock market issues and so forth, we did some things similar to this. So some of you that have been here a while may remember or recall some of the things I'm getting ready to discuss. Ricky and David will be meeting with you in person very shortly to discuss this plan, and we'll share a list of alternate job responsibilities and ask for a show of hands of those of you who may have certain abilities as we're describing those alternate tasks, or a show of hand of those interested in being trained in the various roles. I think most of what we've identified wouldn't take much to hone up on some skills there. So here's some of the alternate roles that we defined in this meeting we had collectively yesterday. And I'll go through them rather quickly, but first thing was refurbishing our front load and roll-off cans, which would involve some washing, welding, scraping, painting. That's a service right now that we have a vendor that handles that for us, that we've done it before in-house. So that's one. A second role would be to travel to our container locations at customer sites to assess container conditions and develop a list of cans to be switched out for repairs or painting. And also, if a box has a minor need, like a lid or decal, repairing it in the field. That's something we have done in the past. It's been a while since we've done it. I rode behind a shopping center the other day looking for something, and I noticed several of our cans there that I said, man, that really needs to be switched out. So That would be one possibly. We have mowing grass at the shops and the landfill. We've got a real neat slope mower that we purchased. I can't think of the brand name of it right off, but there's a lot of mowing coming into that season. There's a lot of mowing needs on the slopes and the closed areas and so forth. I understand the landfill has got a large area of seed and grass to be completed on a landfill slope, on a completed landfill slope. Visiting compactor sites, Ken would mention this to me, to check fluids and hoses and greasing those units as needed. Delivering residential carts. David brought this up in particular in Martinsville, so as to allow mechanics to stay on vehicle repairs and not be delivering containers. Litter pickup at transfer stations and landfills. Work on cleaning up our box repair area and loading and moving scrap metal to a scrap recycler. We got several locations that we just had an accumulation, and it'd be a good time to do some house cleaning on that. Assist the shops with installing the cameras that we're in the process of putting on all the trucks. I think we've done 18 so far, so we've got a ways to go on that, and that could be a great assistance to the shop. Assist with converting. We've got a lot of old hard copies in files of waste characterization forms that we'd like to get to electronic form by scanning them into a computer drive. It's not real complicated. It takes a little bit of a computer skill, but not a lot if somebody was interested in doing that. And we have a very large accumulated stockpile of old concrete debris at the landfill, which needs to be crushed. Their plan has been all along, it's been accumulating for a long time. Plan has been to crush it and use it as a replacement for stone. As those of you who go in the landfill often see, we buy a lot of stone, and so this would involve loading the debris into a concrete grinder, which we would rent, and then using a track loader or a rubber tire loader or something, and a roll-off truck, dump truck, whatever, and haul it to a storage area. So those are some of the things we've identified. We're interested in hearing from you of any other ideas of alternate work that you've seen in riding around the truck, things you say, hey, that looks like something that we could either work on or clean up or fix up. Any type thing like that you see that could be addressed during this temporary disruption to our normal work requirements. So when Ricky and David meet with you all over the next couple of days, be thinking about that if you would, please. And we can certainly add to this list. I think we identified a lot of work yesterday at the meeting we had of alternate work we could be doing during this time, but give it some serious thought if you would. Hey, we're all in this together, so any thoughts, ideas, questions, please contact us. And with that, I'll say be safe and wash your hands.
Thank you, Tommy. I want to remind all of you that yes, we'll get through this, and we've been through these valleys before. I would encourage you to take time to take your Bible out and read the 5th chapter of Romans. It really talks to difficult times and how they can really be an asset to who we are and how we live. And I'm a firm believer, as I know all of you are, that God's our shepherd. He's going to take us through this valley, and we're going to come back out, and we're going to be better than we ever were. So God's blessing on all of you, and we look forward to tomorrow and the day after that. Bye-bye.